Good morning. I am doing this video again because the first one didn't work out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse the order. So on the last one, I did my birthday brag first. I'm going to go ahead and save that for last so that we can get to the main content of the video first. And the content of today's video, the topic for today, is shopping at stores and what stores will do in order to get you to buy stuff that you weren't planning on buying. So, first, let's go over some things that you can do in order to stay on track when you go to stores. It doesn't matter what kind of store you're going to. It can be a GameStop, it can be any store in the mall, Smith's, Target, Walmart, wherever it is that you're going. First, have a shopping list. Okay? Shopping lists are good. If you have a shopping list, you know exactly what it is that you want. You've already done your research. You can go in, you can get it, you're done. Okay? Second, don't shop when you're hungry. Don't shop when you're depressed. So those are two that are really big for me. If I'm shopping when I'm hungry, I am more likely to buy a bunch of crap. And if I'm shopping when I'm depressed or down or anything like that, retail therapy will tend to boost my mood. But retail therapy can get expensive. So if you're on a budget, you definitely don't want to do this. But you also don't want to completely restrict yourself. So I'm not saying that it's something that you should never do, but definitely try to shop with intent whenever you go shopping. Okay? So what are some things that stores do in order to get you to buy stuff that you weren't planning on buying? Well, first, they like to put your staple items, milk, cheese, bread, that kind of stuff, all the way in the back of the store. Walmart is one of the biggest offenders. If you go to a Walmart and you want to get stuff, you have to walk all the way back to the store. You are walking past toys, you're walking past clothes, you are walking past prescriptions, housewares, sporting goods, all of that stuff just to get to what you're looking for. Okay? The Walmarts that have the bigger Walmarts, like the super Walmarts, that kind of stuff, they actually have like a grocery side, which is fine. But you'll notice that the stuff that is next to the front, this is more your convenient stuff, like your already prepared sandwiches, this is your party packs, this cheese balls, that kind of stuff. Even Target does this. Not Target. Smith's does this. However, I will say that one of the things I like that Smith's has been doing in recent years is that they will have a cooler that is towards the front. So if you want to quickly run in for milk or that kind of thing, you actually can, because you can go in, like 4 steps in, 5 steps, maybe depending on how much you walk. You will see a small cooler that is dedicated to those kind of staple items. That is cheese. There might be some cheese, but it's going to have like your milk and things along those lines with it, which is really nice because then that's going to decrease your impulse buys. Another thing they'll do is they will offer you deals. And these deals, you will think that they're not going to be around for very long, that you need to make a purchase while this deal is available. GameStop does this. I was in a couple weeks ago, and I was looking at video games. You know, I had a couple that I was looking at, but I wasn't super big on them. But I was more tempted to buy that day because if you were purchasing their used games, you got the first one, and the second one's 50% off. So then, you average it, and now you're spending like $20 a game, instead of the 40 or so that you would be spending per game. So if this is something that you've been looking at for a while, it's not a terrible thing to go ahead and go for that deal. But don't fool yourself into thinking that you're saving money by getting something that's on sale. Because if it wasn't on sale, would you be spending that money? And if the answer is no, don't spend the money. But if the answer is yes, I would be buying it anyway, I would just be buying it in a couple weeks, take a look at your finances. Can you actually afford it now? Can you afford it now? And if you can, fantastic, take advantage of the deal. If you can't, then even though you would be saving money by buying it now, it would actually be better for you to just wait. Sometimes, especially as you get closer to like the big holidays, Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, the closer you get, especially the closer you get to the end of the year, the more you're going to see. So if you're willing to be patient, even though it seems like you'd be saving quite a bit of money now, you may actually save more money on the long end. Now, there is a risk, and the risk is that they could completely sell out of the item. And the other risk is that that sale genuinely is like a once in a, you know, while thing that they do. Do your homework. If you do the homework, there are a ton of people who are going to be able to answer those questions for you. Is this a rare thing, or is this something that cycles through? That kind of stuff. I know that with GameStop, that type of sale will cycle through. So even though I didn't make any purchases last weekend, in a couple of weekends when I wander through, then they may have something. I ultimately decided that I've got a couple of video games that I haven't finished yet, so I'm going to go ahead and do those first. Okay. Another thing that stores do is that they will, even though they have, 15 registers, they'll have 2 open. Okay? And I get that this sucks. And it's not a big deal when the store is not very busy, but when the store is really busy and the lines are like 4 or 5 people deep, this is ridiculous. And Walmart is the biggest offender as far as I can tell. Target sometimes, but they tend to be pretty good about opening new registers as people start to fill those lines. So it's a balance thing for them. They want you to be in line. They don't want you to be able to check out right away because they have all those impulse buys, the magazines and the candy, the soda. And if you're not waiting in line at least a little bit, you're not going to look at those items and you're less likely to buy them. Okay? So they're doing this on purpose. There's like this whole science to it, and actually is pretty cool. Another thing that they'll do is that they will imply scarcity. So they'll say things like limited offer, or where the diamond industry is probably the worst offender when it comes to this, is they make you think that diamonds are scarce. They make you think that they're rare. And they have this whole thing about it being like a status thing for getting engaged. Like, you have to have a diamond in order to get engaged. Well, diamonds are really not all that special. They're clear, and they do this cool little rainbowy thing, but there are a lot of diamonds out there. The reason you don't see that there are a lot of diamonds out there is because the diamond industry is very good at limiting what they make available to the consumer. Okay? If you walked in and there was just like this big bucket of diamonds, they would have to sell them at the $5 a bag type of thing, like the Natural History Museum does, right? You go into the Natural History Museum and they have all these cool looking rocks. You fill a bag, $5. Okay? They don't want to do that because they know there's a lot of money in diamonds. And I will give you that you're not just paying for the diamonds. You're also paying for the jewelry. You're paying for the cut. You're paying for the way that it's set. You're paying for any other stones that are in it. But be aware that if you're buying diamonds, you are spending a lot more than their actual value. Okay? All right. So, again, be aware. Cars, be aware, right? Car companies are going to put the cars with the best sale items at the front of the lot. If you are looking for something specific or you're looking for something plainer, it's going to be towards the back. This is true, I would say, about most of the lots. So the ones that are at the front are either going to be limited in what's available, or they're going to be like super fancy, like awesome, like everything's included kind of thing, and that's the one that the deal's available on. You will see this type of thing as far as scarcity goes also with hotel rooms, especially if you're going to places like Vegas. If you see an advertisement, you'll see like $20 a night, but you call and they say, I'm sorry, we're out of that room. Would you like to get this room for 50 or 70 or whatever it is? Okay. So just be aware, do your research. If you're able to be patient, you can save a lot of money. All right. Let's see, is there anything else? Oh, okay, so let's talk grocery shopping real quick because that is relevant to me, right? If I'm hungry and I go grocery shopping, I'm going to get a bunch of junk, especially with the stuff that they have in the front, like the cheese ball and the crackers and that kind of stuff, because I love cheese ball and crackers. It's just yummy. But if I make sure that I'm not hungry and I go in and I shop the perimeter is kind of the place to start. So some people will go row by row figuring out what they need. Shop the perimeter. The perimeter is going to get you that processed food, but you just kind of skip past that, and now you're going to be in the fresh fruits and vegetables. and you're going to get the milk and the juice and the yogurt, cheese, that kind of stuff. Your meats are going to be there. The delicatessen or the butcher are going to be on the perimeter of the store. So those are all pretty good. The Smith's that I go to has actually expanded, and so now I kind of shop like 2/3 of the perimeter because the rest of it is soda and beer and other junk. Okay. So I'll do like 3/4. So I'll go and I'll get like the fruits and the vegetables and whatever, and then I'll come back. Now, dairy and juice are not awesome for you. They are going to be slightly better than doing soda, but one of the things that you want to look at is that it's okay to spend money on those things as ingredients, not so much as solo items, right? So feel free to get yourself those crab legs. But instead of having the crab legs as your main course, make them part of your meal. Like have a giant green salad and then a side of crab legs instead of the other way around. Okay? And that way you're going to stretch your money a little bit farther. The other thing that you can do is you can get your fresh meat, but instead of having a hamburger, you take that meat and you use it in another recipe that allows you to enjoy your food a little bit more. Okay? If you are interested in the more specific things that companies will do in order to get you to buy things that you weren't planning on buying, I strongly recommend this book. Okay? I actually initially read this book when I was doing my first master's my first master's was all about running community health programs. And what was interesting about this is that it actually goes through specific things that you can do in order to increase whether or not people are going to comply with what you're doing, which is important if you are running a health program, because you need to be able to, health programming is all about getting people to do stuff that they may not be ready to do or that would be good for them, but that they don't want to do for whatever reason, that kind of stuff. And so this book talks about those things. I found it very interesting. Social proof, right? The idea that everybody else is doing it is an important concept. There is conditioning. There is the idea of authority. So if you're interested in advertising techniques, this is also a good one to talk about. So when you are watching advertisements and you see the advertising people say 9 out of 10 doctors, or you have a doctor who's giving a testimonial on how great this product is, that's not because necessarily they believe in their product. That's because they know that you are more likely to respect the opinion of a doctor, even if that doctor is a paid actor. Okay? We also know that celebrity endorsements are a big thing. This, again, is going to be authority, right? So if you have somebody, I don't even know what the super big sports names right now, but let's say like you have Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, and they are endorsing a set of basketball shoes. Okay? You are more likely to buy those basketball shoes because you believe that they're an authority in that area, right? They're good basketball players, and if you get their shoes, or if they're endorsing those shoes, they must think that they could actually help them be better basketball players. This may or may not be the case. Remember, when they're doing stuff like that, or Tiger Woods, he has the Nike endorsements. It's not necessarily because he believes that Nike has superior products. It could simply be because Nike gave him a better deal. And by making sure that he's in the Nike hat and the Nike shoes and the Nike gloves and all of the stuff that is Nike marked, he is going to be increasing their revenues for people who want to be like him. Okay? If Adidas had given him a better deal, he might do Adidas. In fact, celebrities can get in trouble, athletes can get in trouble for having the wrong product. All right. So one of the things that I thought was interesting when I went for my health master's is that in one of my classes I actually had to go and help with the basketball tournament, which was very eye-opening because we were some of the stuff that I had to do was transcribing from the interview, right? So you have the game, and then you have the people, and they go and they sit at the table, and then like everybody's asking them questions. Well, what I had to do is I was actually take a recording of the Q&A session, and I would transcribe it. Something that you may or may not have been aware of is that we had to be very conscious about what was on the podium with that person. Okay, I believe we were Coke sponsored. So when we had somebody who had Pepsi, we actually had to take the Pepsi away and give them Coke, or we had to give them Aquafina because Aquafina is a Coke product, right? This can be a big deal. In fact, people can lose sponsorships if they are sponsored by one group, but they're seen with the something of another group. Okay, so imagine if somebody says, "Oh, Colgate is the best stuff to brush my teeth," but then they're brushing with, wow, I can't. This tells you how good Colgate's marketing is because I cannot think. Oh, and they're brushing with Crest, and somebody sees this, and it's like a big deal. Okay, Jennifer Aniston does Smart Water, which means anytime she has water, it's either going to be in an unmarked bottle or it's going to be a Smart Water bottle. Because if she's caught with a different type of water, then the sponsorship is going to say, hey, we are paying you to promote our product. And if people are seeing you with another product, they're going to think that you don't believe in our product. Okay? Because if Jennifer Aniston is saying Smart Water is the best water, but then you see her drinking Aquafina, then one of the assumptions that I would make is that Smart Water is not so awesome that Aquafina, can't fill it in. But if she's constantly demanding Smart Water, even when other waters are available, then I'm going to be thinking, okay, there must be something about Smart Water that makes it better, right? So these are all kind of advertising techniques. They make you think that people are having fun while drinking them. We know that they do this with alcohol, right? They don't show you a bunch of, soft-bodied people who are hanging out, being silly in the backyard. They show you gorgeous-looking people who are hanging out and having fun at somebody's party. Okay, so just be aware, right? Everything, their job is to sell you stuff, not to make your life better. Be aware of the techniques that they're using in order to get you to buy their stuff. It's that simple. Do your research, because the more research that you do, the less power those things have over you. Okay? All right, so that is the end of my whole store traps, shopping kind of awareness thing. Let me put this book away. All right, so now, birthday brag. My birthday yesterday was so much fun. We actually sort of started the festivities the day before with a family pedicure. My partner got his very first pedicure. He said he enjoyed it. Although I will say that they kind of skimped on the massaging, which was a little sad. But it was a lot of fun. The boy got his pedicure too. So did I. Let's see. And then we went for sushi. Sushi, as usual, was delicious. If you are ever in the Albuquerque area, Far East Fusion, I love it. I can't endorse their not sushi stuff because I don't eat their not sushi stuff very often. But I have never had bad sushi with them. It's just delicious. It's well prepared. It's the right temperature. The combination of flavors is good. The service is spot on. Even last night, or rather the night before, they did not have any tables available. When we walked in, it was like packed. But they knew that we preferred booths, so they actually cleaned up a booth for us that had been recently emptied. Went in, placed an order, got our food pretty quickly. Again, it was spot on. Odin actually ate entire rolls instead of just picking the crab out of it, which was kind of cool, and made us happy. You had fun at the sushi, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was your favorite part of going to that sushi place?
Eating the dessert.
Eating the what?
Dessert.
Yeah.
And I can have a lollipop.
Oh, the dessert, the mango sweet rice, the mango sticky rice.
No,
Or
no.
Are you talking about the fortune cookie?
I'm talking about the new lollipop. I just eaten the dessert.
Oh, the lollipops.
Yeah.
That you got when you had your toes done?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I also was gifted this wonderful little mug. I actually just tried it out this morning. It's a little thin, So if you have hot stuff, it's not super awesome for hot stuff. But I put half and half in my tea, so worked out really well for that. I got this nice little Fallout puzzle that I'm actually going to start as soon as I have this posted. And so yesterday we went and watched The Secret Life of Pets, which was a funny movie. It had its moments. It did not keep the boy totally occupied, but he did enjoy it. I will not say that it was a knockout like Inside Out was, because Inside Out was amazing. But yesterday, after we were done with everything, my partner and I actually went to the Cottonwood Mall because that's where they have Build-A-Bear, and Build-A-Bear has this Star Trek bear available. So I went in to get Star Trek because honestly I am a much bigger Star Trek fan than I am a Star Wars fan, and I'm so excited about the movie that's coming out on the 22nd. So let me show you my Build-A-Bear, which was the first thing that we did when we went to the mall. That's not quite true. We actually did Pokemon Go first, and my partner went from like 1 captured Pokemon to over almost 25 captured Pokemon. Okay, so this is my Spock Build-A-Bear. As you can see, he has, the ears, and on this hand, he's actually doing the live long and prosper sign. But instead of going with the classic Build-A-Bear, or with the classic Spock, I actually decided to dress him up. So, he's wearing Jedi robes. Jedi robes actually make him look a little bit Romulan when we put the hood up. Okay, so this is part of the Proton Pack because he is also a Ghostbuster. Okay, and then he has his Star Trek phaser. Okay, which is here. Really cool is his shoes. Look at his little Chuck Taylors. Doo, doo, doo. His shoes are awesome.
And you can take them off.
Yes, but I'm not going to take them off. So, this is my Spock. He's actually going to be my class mascot. Spock, and I love him, and like I said, he's going to be a class mascot. Okay, so then we wandered around the mall and just did kid things, and we ate at Johnny Rockets. And I don't know if you are familiar with Johnny Rockets, but their ambient music was basically the Fallout soundtrack. I think we were there for about half an hour, 45 minutes while we were eating. We heard one song that was not also in the Fallout universe, which was really cool and made it a lot of fun. Okay, yeah, so I had a fun birthday yesterday. We had desserts at Flying Star, which is one of my favorite restaurants. I got my free coffee at Starbucks. Alright, this is the Pet Health Feature. I am signing out, and I wish you all a fantastic day. Thank you very much.